Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Mediator with me, your host, Brian West, here to give you your top 8 headlines stories that made it throughout the month and this week. We have a good show for you tonight. We got my man Tony Budak on the show tonight. He comes on to talk about his community action network, where you can actually log in the time that you take to help out others and use that time to get services. So it's a nice little exchange program that he has online. So he's going to be on the show tonight. And we also have the skits that you can watch and laugh or be serious about. And we have me and talking and good fun activities. Well, let's get to the top 8 stories that made it inside the Mediator this week. I don't want to leave anybody out. All right, story number 1. Number 1 story that made it this week. President Obama's Library Foundation will now allow corporate donations. It says former President Obama's Library Foundation is now reportedly allowing corporations to donate money. It says the library museum is projected to cost about museum is projected to cost between about $500 million and will be located on the south side of Chicago. This is where we get to the sweet stuff. It says there will be no how-to books with the words dummy or idiot in the title, and there will be a golf course on the library grounds with a special spot for those looking for vacation spots already visited by the Obamas. Story number 2. The Chinese teleport a photon particle, but no humans yet. So it seems the Chinese may be on to something new. It seems that the Chinese have been able to teleport a photon particle from the ground to a satellite. Now, the interesting thing is that the satellite was orbiting 870 miles away. Now, it's usually pretty hard for photons to travel through the Earth's atmosphere compared to space, but the Chinese were able to pull it off. Now, this new discovery could change the internet and some various other things. You may want to do some research on that. Now, it says that, don't get upset about this. It says, new remote controls with light beams will now be used by Americans with the labels made in China on them. Story number 3. American politicians getting dirt on other candidates from other countries like Ukraine. This is an interesting story. It says a report published not too long ago about multiple presidential candidates going to other countries like Ukraine to dig up dirt on each other. It says that they've been going, and I guess many Americans are wondering, when did the presidency become a lottery ticket worth cheating for? So they've been going to other countries and getting dirt on other candidates to try to gain clout in the elections. It's amazing. Unbelievable. It says Americans are also concerned about who will pay for Thanksgiving dinner now that all of their tax money has been spent getting dirt all over the table. Now, no one knows who will be cleaning off the table. I guess the joke is basically saying is that if you're in the game, prepare to get dirty. Story number 4. Whew, that was a close one. Story number 4. Make America Great Again swimsuit was a summer hit. It seems that some of Trump's slogans and designs have been flying off the shelf from his supporters after the Make America Great Again swimsuit was a big hit for the people. Like I said, the key word is from his supporters. Now here's the sweet stuff. Perverts will be donating early to get Trump reelected. I'm almost there. I'm chugging along. Story number 5. A new study shows that global warming could be caused by the sun, not man. It seems that the big climate change debate may come to a screeching halt after scientists say they now believe that the sun has mood swings. Okay. So first it was fossil fuels, and now we better not upset the sun. Everyone calm down and get on your knees and pray to the east. Oh boy, we pissed off the sun. Here comes winter will be the next topic of discussion. Story number 6. A Taco Bell fight goes viral. It says a fight between a Taco Bell manager and an employee that was filmed by another employee has gone viral, with each worker throwing tea dispensers at the other. Taco Bell will now be, it seems that Taco Bell will now be releasing a reality show called Run for the Border. Story number 7, and the final 2 stories that made it into the Mediator this week. R&B singer R. Kelly accused of having a women cult. So that means R. Kelly is accused of having women in a cult at his mansions. It says there are new reports emerging about the R&B singer R. Kelly housing women in his self-established cult, where he dictates everything from what they wear and eat to who they talk to outside of the cult, and reports even say that he dictates their sexual behavior as well. Man, detectives are now saying that they will be investigating the bump and grind videos to make sure that the reports about the R&B singer are true. Bump and grind was a hit back in the day. Don't worry, it's almost over. Last and final story that made it through the media this week. A pro-Trump singer apparently getting death threats. It says singer Joy Villa, who supports President Trump and even wore a Trump dress to the Grammys, has apparently been receiving death threats. It says the singer says that she credits Trump for getting her involved in politics. Now, sources say that she did not read the warning label that comes with displaying your vote at public events. Thank you so much for tuning to the media. We'll be right back after this break. We'll be right back with Tony Budak. Don't go anywhere. You're in the Mediator with Brian West. We'll be right back, everybody.
I used to be married to Mr. Cunningham. I know what it's like to lose someone.
He's got a real tender-looking face. Lou, what do you expect me to do with this guy?
Listen, I don't want any trouble. I just want to fight. That's all I want.
Oh, I'm gonna get you a fight. I might even fight you myself.
Where's Nate? He went his first fight and he's nowhere in sight.
God probably offered himself.
Take that back, Jim.
You made $1,000 on your first fight, and you're sleeping in your damn car? Are you kidding me?
I like my car, all right? I don't want to go home. I like my car.
So, Dr. Reggie sent me to tell you to meet him at his hotel room.
Okay, he's in town?
Yes, he is, and he knows you've been making money, too.
Well, I've been putting on some shows.
Listen, I don't care about your shows. What we need to be talking about is we need to be discussing my money. That's our number one priority, okay? Once they found the switches, we became the victims. We became the test dummies. But I may have found a way to stop this. What about my wife? This is my time to talk to Brenda about my wife.
Don't worry about her.
The establishment of doctors and scientists have gotten out of hand.
You've lost your mind. They're gonna lock you up.
Did you take your meds? No human subject, you're screwed.
I refuse to just sit here and do nothing, Lou. See, I've got nothing to lose.
Just kill me. I don't want to put you through this. I'm sorry.
Jackie, look at me, right? Look at me. I want you to listen to me. Everything will be fine, right? Optimism is the best medicine, okay? This next guest I have is a community activist. He is with Time Banking Mahoning Watershed. He is a community activist, and he does so many things for the community when it comes to philanthropy and getting people to buy and buy used goods and other things, recycling and using their time to serve the community. I'd like to welcome to the stage Tony Budak, everybody. Tony Budak.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Go ahead, have a seat.
Okay.
Okay, now you've got a lot going on. I mean, you've got a lot going on, and due to the political climate, you've taken upon yourself to not only create. You've linked up with a network community action group, but you've also been doing time banking. So tell us, what do you got going on?
Well, we've got the Time Bank. It's our core foundation nonprofit that tries to activate the community in terms of mutual aid, looking out for one another. So we have a database of skill sets that when an individual joins the Time Bank, they put your skill set into the database, and then if somebody needs a ride or help with electrical fixtures or tutoring or offering or receiving these kinds of things, they can look in the database and just exchange time and skills and help one another. There's no money involved.
So now you've found your service, which is a 501c3, correct?
Right.
So it's a nonprofit basically, so people who don't have money can afford certain services.
Right.
Now, how did you get involved with that, if you don't mind me asking?
I come out of the labor union movement. I was a grievance writer, a shop floor activist in IUE 717 up here in Delphi Packard, the north end of the valley in Warren.
And then, so tell us a little bit about what you're doing now. You have a networking community group. Tell us a little bit about what you got going on now.
The concept here is to work together. And what is the basis of that? The basis of that is a conversation.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of research and tried to understand how, in a sense, what motivates people psychologically, sociologically. And I'm trying to create a community forum, a platform, if you will, where people can collaborate. I mean, that's what the Time Bank is. It's a digital platform, it's online, and people can collaborate. But it's difficult to build trust when you don't know the person, when you don't see the person, when you don't meet the person. So we also, in time banking, we have weekly social gatherings. And I'm trying to leverage up this weekly gathering into a focus on conversation. So in the current situation and the way problems are solved, you define the problem and you try to fix it.
Yeah.
Or you go and you look for a leader to take care of that issue. But what I'm encouraging, and I can't, it's that old story, if you take a horse to water,
Can't make them drink.
So how do you get people to do what they love to do, what their dream is, what their passion is? So you ask them to talk about it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And also you have to back away from this idea of being a leader and telling them what to do. So the concept of leadership is different in time banking. The concept of leadership in time banking is that you're a host and you're hosting a conversation, just like right now. You're hosting me and I'm hosting you, so there's this give and take of learning and teaching that we have together. And I learn from you and you learn from me. So there's no true leader. It's us mutually together doing this. So that's what this Community Action Network is to create this safe space on the second Tuesday every month at First Presbyterian Church where we can have this conversation and we can act as hosts, we can act as collaborators, we can act as learners and teachers. And so we can co-produce or create an agenda that night while we're there. So I don't tell people what to do. I don't, dictate. I'm a facilitator, or I try to use the time bank and the mechanisms in the tools of process or conversation and the correct language, like not using the language of leading as a leader, but redefining what leadership is and saying leaders are really hosts.
Yeah, yeah.
So we often have in society no participation. I want to read this other thing that I brought. Many people voted for Trump, for example.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They wanted to change.
And we changed the faces and the names of the leaders in this country.
Yeah.
But nothing changes.
Nothing ever changes.
Nothing changes,
Yeah.
right? And so change has to come from the bottom in so many words.
Yeah.
And the idea of protesting is a tactic, but it's not strategic in the sense that it actually changes.
Solves anything.
Well, it may solve momentarily a problem that it defines, but it doesn't change the system. It doesn't change us to talk about the values that are driving the system, the social tools and language tools that we use to control, to be the guide rails or to be the criteria for development.
So basically what you're saying is there's a way to solve problems without protesting, pretty much.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
In this network where you bring people together to talk socially, it's basically saying that to get what you want, it's better to go through the process rather than go throwing rocks and taking lives to get your point across.
Yeah, and my words are, it's not my words. It's people helping each other, help themselves, right? Working together. It's the old school. It's not brand new, But the emphasis is there, and that we got to get back to that emphasis in this country.
Which is networking and working the community.
Right.
Now, I have a question for you. You know how, give you an example. Say, for instance, let's try to use a cause and effect system to see how this program could work. Say, for instance, we take the day of when Idora Park existed. Let's say if this program were in place then, and so basically instead of them shutting the park down, they would have been able to find out resources within the community through a network like this and be able to talk about rebuilding instead of shutting. So that's basically what this program is for.
Right, except I don't like the word program.
It's just a network.
Well, no, it's a consciousness. It's a community vision or community oriented way of doing things. It's more than just a little program. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, I think I get the message, but I want to talk a little bit more about it now because it's important. It's important.
Well, it always applies. Let's look at this idea of human dignity. Okay. Yeah. My son's already in his 30s, but I have a grandson. But if you're a dad over a teenager and you want your teenager to be responsible, and he says, well, hey, Dad, I want to go out and earn some bucks, so I can get some money to go to the movies or buy a computer or whatever. And you say, well, I'll tell you what. I will rent you my lawnmower. You go cut grass in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the money you get from cutting grass, you pay for the gasoline, you pay for the rent, and you keep the profit.
Makes sense.
So he's a dignified, he only is 15 or 14, but he's fully responsible for his work. Now in today's society, when you go to work, you're not responsible for what you do. You have to do what the boss says.
Yeah, yeah.
So this idea of collective consciousness is in society is that we all follow the boss.
Yeah.
And we say that we have First Amendment rights to talk, right? And to act in concert with one another, to protest. What I'm trying to get across here is that the human development is not over, that the evolution of collective consciousness is still at work.
Yeah.
And so what's strategic, not the tactic or the tactical programming things that we're doing day to day. What's the vision of human development?
Yeah.
So it's about respecting people's autonomy, respecting their human rights to self-development, respecting their right to make decisions and be responsible for those decisions.
Yeah.
And so I'm asking for my time bank members to live up to that concept, right?
Just by utilizing their skills for the service.
But we want to become a role model. We want to become an organizational model for other organizations. Give you an example about this. This idea is called co-producing reality, co-production. It's about co-creating. It's not about problem solving that you take an issue and you fix it. It's like what Buckminster Fuller said, instead of beating your head against the system, which I did for 40 years as a labor union activist. I believe it, yeah. Okay, don't move jobs overseas. Don't pollute the planet. Don't oppress women and minorities in the workforce. We hardly got anywhere with that because we were tactical. And what I'm trying to say here is that we need to create a reality that doesn't fix the past, but a reality that brings the future in now. So this approach means that the discussions in the time bank, and hopefully I can facilitate discussions in the community network that we want to create, is about creating. It's about producing new ways of relating. We can create our own money here locally. We already have in the time bank digital money.
That's why I brought up Idora Park.
And there's other things we can create that will make life better without fighting with the government, without fighting with City Hall. Just getting together and using our collective power to do that.
People just need to know where
this is a new mindset. This is a new consciousness that we need to have in the future, and it's demanded upon us. I'm going to talk about a little bit about this idea of Western civilization. What we've got is climate change, atomic weapons running around the planet, oppression, Nazis, poor.
So many things.
It's the list, right? Western, I don't know who said, Einstein, I think he says, it'd be really nice if we had civilization. I'm waiting for it, if we were civilized, right?
They've written books of, I don't know if you remember the book, The Lord of Flies. I don't think any author has ever believed in civilized people, period.
Right. So, but that mindset is the problem. And what I'm trying to say here is that there's the mindset of nature.
Yeah.
Nature is things that work together. I love the idea of the watershed because in a watershed, the toads, the frogs, the fish, the birds, the rabbits, the plants, the water, the minerals, the soil, the fruit, it's all together in one system.
So that's where the name comes from.
Yeah. So it's a symbol. It's a symbiosis of an ecology of where the human fits in with nature.
That's amazing.
Instead of controlling nature, instead of let me ask you this question: how come in nature there's no president, there's no managers, there's no everybody gets along in nature? They have their place and they work together to make it happen.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's the way humans need to relate to the reality. Because the way Western civilization is saying that we relate to the reality is giving us all this heartache. It's giving us these wounds, these problems.
Problems, yeah. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask Tony. When we come back from seeing the skit, I'm going to ask Tony, how can people get involved with Mahoning County, or just the watershed, time banking watershed? And I'm going to ask him a little bit more about what his plans are for the future. And if you want to get involved, we'll ask him where he gets his where you can sign up as well. We'll be right back. You're in The Mediator with Brian Woods. We'll be right back. The Late Show. We'll be right back. If it was up to me, Williams, she'd be in the box right now.
There's no evidence that points to Daniels. Everything in this case points away from him.
I know he did this.
I think he's hiding with someone in the forest.
If West did something, he would turn himself in.
He did this to even the score.
No man just kills his little girl.
Why do they want me out of the picture?
You were there. They saw you run out of the house.
I'm telling you, West is not the killer. I can feel it.
If innocent, why run?
Some sounds to me like we have some snakes on the force.
They want to take over the force, West. They want it all.
If you push out the good cops, then you're one step closer to the king.
Something big is going on.
If there's been a bomb that has to go off, we have to come up with a defense plan quick.
All we have right now are suspects. Now we need to start getting some faces so we can fight back.
If someone killed your daughter, what would you do? I mean, would you give in or would you stand up and fight back?
You're a disgrace to the...
I will have your badge, Bruce. Do you hear me? Wes is untouchable, unseen, and even untraceable.
He has to make a mistake. He's human. I'm the only suspect.
Something doesn't feel right.
You wouldn't happen to have cut the face of the real killer, would you? All the fingers are pointing to him.
We don't even know who the enemy is.
A car is behind my mom's car and the whole evening. So, if you didn't kill your daughter, who did?
It was a setup.
I should have taken the fast food job.
Keisha steps up. Oh, look at those strong legs. She's getting ready to make her drive. Oh, what a hit. I'm going to go out and talk to her. Now, Keisha, that was some drive, but it was a little out of the way. Now, tell us, why were you celebrating so early? You just hit the ball.
I mean, let's stay focused on the greens for a moment. You know, I learned that when you celebrate, it makes the plants grow.
Focusing on the plants grow, but Keisha, we cut the grass in this sport. This is golf. Now, you have to hit the ball in the hole. You understand that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I played this game my whole lifestyles. I mean, I figured it costs so much. Let's, celebrate the greens. Make the greens happy.
Golf is a sport that costs money, but now you're talking about the grass and the greens. Yeah. Now, but what I'm saying is you have to get the ball in the hole. You didn't get the ball in the hole. So what is your plan? Are you trying to get above par, or what's your plan?
I mean, it's the greens. We're celebrating the greens. Now the greens.
Now, I'm a little bit confused. I don't know what medicine you had this morning, but let's just hope you can get the ball in the hole, okay?
I mean, it's for the green style.
So you're saying it's. Now, I'm a little confused. I'm just going to let you get back to the tournament, and we're going to take a quick commercial break, and I'm going to go sit over in the corner and continue to let you focus on the greens. But you're not looking good today. How do you plan on turning this thing around? Do you plan on turning around, or are you still going to stay focused on the greens?
It's all about the green style.
Well, we'll be right back after this commercial break. The tournament will go on, and Keisha will continue to focus on the greens. Oh, God, I quit this. Focused on the greens. It's all about the holes. All right, we are back with Tony Budak from Time Banking Watershed, and he is explaining his program. And it's all right, Tony. I mean, you can see the thing you have to realize about when you're explaining things is people will get it eventually. So tell us now. Well, I think what I want to figure out is how can people get involved, and what's the purpose of all this?
Well, the second Tuesday every month, 6:30, show up at First Presbyterian Church, 201 Wick Avenue. That's right up the hill from the square.
How many states are you guys located in?
Every state in the country.
Every state in the country.
Every country in Europe and north of Africa. We're in Russia. We're in South America. It's all over.
So this is
Japan,
a global
China.
project.
The idea of time banking with the names put on it, but as I said, people have been looking out for one another since
for years.
They came out of Africa.
This is an amazing program because now there are people who take full advantage of programs like this. Do you think it's utilized more in the United States or other countries?
I think it's utilized mostly in Japan.
Oh, Japan?
Yeah.
Well, they probably
it's very serious in Japan because the young people have had to leave the farms, the rice paddies to go to the cities, and the development of the 20th century.
Yeah.
And what they've done there is they do community service in the city, and they create credits in their account that their parents can use who live out in the boondocks, in the rural areas, on the farmland. They can spend those time credits to get services. So rather than using money, they're using time. But because the culture of Japanese society is such that you take care of the elderly, and it's very tight that way.
That way. So now, how come how is usage in the United States? Do people use it in the United States quite a bit, or you think it's just?
But mostly for community building, mostly for moms having babysitting, for rides to the airport. It's very light kind of skill use or trading of time and services. Is lightweight. It's not heavy duty. But there are a few what I call sprouts or beginning efforts where time banking is used actually for a program to put solar panels on a roof, and that eventually turns into a business. Or another case in a time bank where some fellas got together up in Maine, where it's very cold in the wintertime. They were insulating members' houses, and they got so good at it, and people heard about them. They said, "Well, we want you to do, but you're not a timer." So they took that project and turned it into a money-making business, skill. So time banking can be a incubator. In fact, here in town, one of my members, she retired, and she had a hobby, and she's using the network and people that can do advertising in the network, people that can help her with her computer, can help her with her banking, her bookwork, her bookkeeping. She's taken her hobby and turned it into a business.
And the moral of the story is that it's just basically banking time. So you are profiting off of it by giving time. Give us some of the benefits of using time. How does that work when people use their time? Like, say for instance, if I'm in the network, you call me up because you want your grass cut. I go over, I bank 30 minutes for cutting your grass. Now, what do I get for the 30 minutes?
You get 30 minutes in your bank account.
Oh, wow.
And then you can use that and get 30 minutes of piano lessons.
Absolutely. So now you're starting to see how it works.
It's just like money, only it's not money. It's another medium. Money is a medium or a means or a tool for exchanging, and we're using time as a medium, a tool, and a way to exchange.
Great. The last question I have for you is a question I ask everybody is, when your day comes and your journey is to an end and you put down your time banking shoes, what would you like to see change in this great world we live in?
Well, I'm doing it. We need to control our reality, and we need to move this consciousness that I was talking about earlier of mutual aid at the local level. The vision here is for people not to wait for big government, big corporations, or the mayor, or whatever. It's just, let's get together and create the society we want to live in. We can do that.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on, Tony. Lastly, how can people get in contact with you, and give us your website?
www.tbmw.org. So that's Time Bank Mahoning Watershed, tbmw.org. My phone number, everything is on that website.
And are you on Facebook?
Yeah.
Perfect.
3 pages on Facebook.
Well, as you heard it from the man himself, Tony Budak, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Did you have any last comments that you wanted to make before you leave out?
Peace and love.
Peace and love. He's a hippie like me. I was raised by hippies. So
okay.
All right, I want to thank Tony for coming on the show. And please don't forget to support us. Go to our website, buy something, click on something, or read something. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in to The Mediator this week. Have a good week, everybody.
Then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is